Hi, my wise astrology tribe, Cosmic Insight Astrology. I am your co-pilot, Christina. If you would like to have a personal reading with me, please check on my website at www.urbanwitch.org. I'm truly grateful for your trust in me to guide you through your spiritual journey. So let's start with today with the solar eclipse in Taurus. And I would like to talk about also the Venus and Jupiter conjunction in Aries, in Pisces at 27 degrees. Here I shared the screen and I erected the chart for Miami because I live close by. I live in Florida. And then I'm going to talk about previously April 27, Neptune and Venus conjunction at 24 degrees, Pisces degree. And then I'm going to talk about Pluto retrograde a little bit. Don't mind the ascendant over here because, as I said, it's erected for Miami and you can do your own chart on astro.com or Astro Cafe. You can do a free chart anywhere, actually. Wherever you are located, and then the obviously the ascendant going to change. But later on, I will talk about every single sign, so you're going to know what's going on and what can you expect from this solar eclipse and from this conjunction in your life. First of all, let me talk about this month. This April was unbelievable, like really, like we had so many amazing conjunction, and of course we had some hard and hardship challenges as well, especially with Saturn and Mars in Aquarius on April 4th, 5th, right? So which can indicate on a long term, like the war going to get escalated, or it could indicate a lot of terror attacks on the earth. However, I really try to concentrate on the positive, especially after we had 2 years of pretty much living hell with COVID. So I try to wrap everything in a blanket, but still try to stay authentic, because otherwise I'm not going to deliver a truthful message over here, right? So I always tell my children, listen, if it's a snowstorm outside, what we do? We're going to actually put snow gear on and very warm blanket and very warm coats, right? To prevent ourselves from freezing. So when we have a very bad planetary aspect, I'm going to deliver it for you. So you get ready and you can prevent some kind of danger in your life. All right, so I'm going to start actually over here with Neptune and Venus conjunction on April 27th. And Neptune is the planet of higher octave of love, spirituality, forgiveness, angels, right? Divine love. So when it's conjunct with Venus, it is giving us an option to forgive or to be forgiven for. So it's a given and taken energy, but if you forgive, you are being forgiven as well. This is a really creative energy. Neptune rules art as well. And it's a Mother Teresa kind of energy, like unconditional love. I love everyone, and I feel that kind of spiritual connection, spiritual power between people. So this is the day when you can practice compassion, and you can have, there is no boundaries these days. So you will feel an urge to hug people, hug strangers, or talk to strangers because of that kind of divine love that you will actually feel. You will feel some kind of energy and urge to create some art, like jewelry or compose music, and or do some kind of documentary about nature, because Venus rules Taurus and the eclipse is, close by on the 30th. So it could be like a documentary about nature or about love. So that is the 27th of Jupiter-Venus conjunction. Then I'm gonna move forward, and then I'm going to talk about actually Pluto. And let me see. So I use honeycomb every single year. I don't get paid for that. So it's not an advertising, but I'm going to show you a few tools that I use, and I think it's amazing and really, really helpful, right? And that is the honeycomb. And that is every single month, it's an agenda. It's giving you all the Monday Earth transits and when the planets or asteroids ingressing in another sign. So you can plan ahead, right? And of course, it's going to give you your solar return chart and your personal transit as well. So I really love this little agenda over here. And I would like to tell you what's going on with this kind of Pluto retrograde here. So it's going to actually happen 29th of April, and it's coming from 28 degrees 36 minutes, and it's gonna station direct on the 29th, and it's gonna go retrograde on the 30th when it's the solar eclipse. And you know, Pluto is the planet of transformation. It is big. When it's stationary direct, that's getting very, very close to the Earth. So it's an outer planet. So it has a huge orbit to go around the solar system, right? And Earth. And then a long time, a long period. And it's a generational planet, we call it, because of it takes a long time to move forward. Pluto is ruling Scorpio and the 8th house, and it is the planet of transformation, planet of death, planet of tax, pregnancy, surgeries, tax, other people's money, so loans, inheritances. When it's going to go to retrograde, there is a transformational rebirth in our life, but it's not coming from a push outside, an urge. You have to, when it's going in retrograde, you have to initiate this change, this transformation in your life. So yes, that is Pluto over here. So this time when Pluto going to be in retrograde, we're going to rethink, we're going to rewrite, reimagine, reinvest, reinvent ourselves. And it's going to be very powerful because when you do it on your own, the initiation is coming from inside, it's an urge inside, then you will feel really powerful when you achieve it. This is the period because, you know, Pluto is ruling 8th house. And 8th house is many times taboo to talk about. People doesn't like to talk about death or sex. So when it is going to retrograde, there is things what you can start to do your will, for example, your trust. You can rewrite them or create them, or some people going to buy funeral plots for themselves, right? Because that's connected with that. Or going to make a decision about who you want to do your labor. For example, if you are pregnant, if you want to have a water birth, or if you want to have a C-section. So this is the time when you revisit those kind of subject in your life, or inheritance, fighting for some kind of inheritance, or signing something with inheritance. So that's what Pluto retrograde going to bring in our life. It's a major transformation. Then I'm going to talk about right now Venus and Jupiter here. Conjunction on April 30th on the partial solar eclipse in Taurus. And it's going to happen in 27 degrees Pisces. Venus in Pisces, in exalted, loves to be here. She's on vacation. She's on one in a lifetime, beautiful vacation, right? Everything is given, everything is granted. She feels beautiful. She feels loved. She feels like magnificent, magical. And then Jupiter rules Pisces. That's the original lord of Pisces. And because Pisces rules 12th house, these two planets actually in 12th house create some kind of positive outcome, very beautiful over here, really magical over here. But they are very different because Venus is material. Venus rules also money, luxury, and beauty, you know, vanity. And Jupiter is the teacher, the guru, the spiritual. So not Santa Claus. So they not necessarily go together energy-wise. And also because of Venus is feminine, Jupiter is mere energy, right? But in Pisces, they're going to create unconditional love, and they're going to shine with glory in this sign. And they're going to give you loyalty and peace and generosity. So actually, this day, April 30th, I can see something like the war's going to cease for a while, at least for 3-4 weeks, because of the conjunction. It's going to be like aspecting us for a longer period. It's not everything happening when the planetary aspects exact in heaven. It is going to have either 2 years of cycle, right? Or it could be 160 years of cycle or 30 years. So that's not going to happen right away, but I can feel something like, all right, so Israel can have peace, or Russia and Ukraine can have, or Syria, or, you know, there is like South Africa, there is so many troubled countries and so many challenges and heartbreaking situation on the earth. So we will feel compassionate to help and give and come together for the greater good and move forward for the greater good. So I feel very optimistic about this conjunction. And actually 27 degrees is Venus exalted degree. It's not just exalted in the sign of Pisces, but it's Venus exalted degree. And previously I was talking about Venus and Neptune conjunction, which gonna happen, and at 24 degrees, it's also a Pisces degree. So ruled by Neptune and Jupiter. So the unconditional love, the loyalty, the divine love, the spirituality, it's all there for us to practice, to grab on. Hope is there for us to grab on and move forward with. So that is very, very optimistic here. Then I'm going to talk about right now the partial solar eclipse. And oh, one more thing, Juno also moved in right now in Pisces on April 20th, and Juno is wife of Jupiter. She'd been cheated on, so she had some kind of resentment toward Jupiter, right? But Juno is the asteroid of marriage and loyalty and compassionate love in a marriage. And when it's moved to Pisces, it is supporting that kind of loyal, higher octave of love. So it's giving an extra flavor to it. All right. So this kind of planetary aspect, Venus and Jupiter conjunction, actually is going to trine with Pluto, right? Pluto retrograde. So it's going to make a transformation in our life in different areas, because it's depending on your rising sign, but I'm going to talk about that later, through love, through compassionate understanding. So that's how you're going to make the transformation in your life. So that's could stay for you for a long time, because it's coming from heart, from your heart desire. Going back for this partial solar eclipse, it is going to happen 10 degrees in Taurus. 10 degrees is already the second decan, so that's a Virgo decan, so that's very healing energy over here. And this partial solar eclipse, because Taurus ruled by Pisces, and Pisces is exalted in 27 degree, the exaltation degree, it's all about love. So this partial solar eclipse, it's a new beginning when we are understanding how important love is, and we can move forward with that. This partial solar eclipse also going to sextile with Mars. So Mars is the warrior. In Pisces, he is a spiritual warrior. He is not capable to initiate. The water, the huge body of water, Pisces is the ocean, it's actually extinguishing Mars fire. it could extinguish it. However, Mars still can act over here and still can become a spiritual warrior. And because of its sextiling with its partial solar eclipse, which is ruled by love and Venus, it is like, it could be like a peaceful protest against wars, or it could be protest for love, for equality in love, right? So that could initiate that as well. And before I was saying, like, you know, this Jupiter-Venus is actually not trining, but sextiling with Pluto. The sextile is a very positive aspect, but you have to work for it. When planetary aspects are trining, planets are trining, then it's coming, it's almost like granted for us. It's a very easy aspect and it's very loving. But in this case, it's going to actually sextiling. So you work for it, you work for your life. You have to make a change, a transformation. You initiate yourself to be in a better place. That's what it means. So it's not given, it's not granted, but it's more appreciated, right? All right, so the second decan is a Virgo aspect for this solar eclipse, and that is like Virgo rules 6th house. It is like everyday routine. So most likely people going to change some kind of regime in their daily routine at their work, with their employees, or with their health. Many of them going to change health regimes over here. And then this partial solar eclipse also going to actually the sun going to on April 30th or May 1st in some countries, going to also conjunct with Eros, and it's also going to conjunct with Black Lilith. And what are those asteroids over here? So Eros is Cupid. It's your sexual desire. It's your passion. It's your unleashed passion over there for love and for physical love, actually. And Black Lilith is also sexuality and sensuality, your inner authority also. And it is reverse your sexual power, your inner sexual power. So when it's conjunct with Sun, a lot of people will feel attractive and beautiful, or it's gonna be a lot of flirting going on, for example, because it's also sextiling with Mars in 11 degrees, and Mars also sexuality rules Aries and the old lord of Scorpio. So it definitely going to have that kind of like, I want to be loved, but I want to be loved physically right now. All right. So this, that's what I wanted to say. Yes, and you know, I want to mention actually Saturn over here. I see my notes, and Saturn and North Node, it's still going to square, right? And it's squaring for a while. And Saturn is limitation. Saturn is delays. Saturn is duty, responsibility. And it's squaring with North Node, but it's not necessarily bad over here, because it could make you to work hard. And because of the hard work, you're going to have a desired reputation in your life. So it's going to put everything in perspective. We don't have to fear Saturn over here. You're going to have nobility and self-respect through work, through going and finding your purposes in life. Actually, it can help people to find purpose in life. All right, and then do I have any other mundane? No, I don't. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to actually go sign by sign, and I'm going to show that for you over here in this little wheel of, what is that? I hope. Astrological wheel here. And I'm going to start with Aries. And let me see, Aries here. I hope you're going to hear me. So I recorded this 2 times yesterday, and I made a mistake middle of the recording, and I skipped 2 signs. So I was like, when I get to Sagittarius, oh, I'm a Sagittarius rising. Oh, that's not right. So I had to record again. So here, Aries, and I'm going to say, what can it mean for you, right? So this going to be your solar eclipse, partial solar eclipse for Aries, gonna happen in your second house. And Jupiter and Venus and Jupiter and Venus and Neptune conjunction going to happen in your 12th house. And Pluto going to retrograde in your 10th house of career, prestige, which is like, or fame even, which is like you're going to have to rethink the way you relate to your career. You're going to have to rewrite something or reimagine something or restructure something in your career because it's not working the way you really want it to work for you. Whoever this Pluto retrograde going to trine with Jupiter and Venus over here. So Pluto also could be some kind of deep psychological issue. And 12 was also psychology and deep psychological issue, anxiety, anything like that. Jupiter and Venus, Jupiter could be like a guru, a spiritual guru who is helping you to get healed of some kind of addiction over here, any areas, some kind of blockage what you have. And it could be some kind of blockage, like mental blockage and psychological blockage in your life. Or it could be alcohol, Neptune is alcohol or drugs. Addiction you can get rid of, right? So that is a really good sextile over here because it's helping you. And also 12th house could be nurses. It could be professional psychologists, psychiatrists. So there is a team behind it who can help you to move forward and see the end of the tunnel here. Saturn is in your 11th house, right? And actually, Saturn, here is North Node. I wanted to write North Node here. It's here for you, 23 degrees. So it's going to actually square with Saturn. And what you're going to see here, it is like you might going to get rid of some kind of tribe of yours, some kind of friends who doesn't serve you anymore, who doesn't grow with you anymore. And you're going to start to build a new tribe. So you restructure your friendships. And because of it's happening here in your second house, it could be also a fallout with a friend because of some kind of financial issues. They borrowed money and they didn't give it back to you, some kind of situation like that. So that actually is going to eclipse something for you over here with friends and social circles, right? Okay, so here is Mercury. Mercury is actually trining with Pluto at the beginning at April 26th. And yeah, 26th, 27th, trining with Pluto. So there is an urge to restructure your financial situation, or like you're going to want to make a plan. Pluto is ruling 8th house, plan to pay off your debit cards or a debt relief or something like that. So you might going to sign contracts for that. But then Mercury going to your 3rd house on April 27th in Gemini, and it loves to be over here, really truly loves to be over here. It's still trining, separating but trining. But it could put some kind of emphasis to change the way you talk, change the way you're going to understand your words has weight, and you cannot use the words that you liked before because of it can hurt others. All right. It could be also a writing project, and it could be something writing about like death or, spirituality or intuition or even some kind of very sensual romantic story, right? Not romantic, but more like the 50 Shades of Grey kind of stories you can write about. Okay, here, that is 12th house we were talking about, North Node we were talking about. So here comes Black Lilith, and here comes Eros in the 2nd house, actually conjuncted with the Sun. So that is a very sexual energy, and I wouldn't want to say that, but it could be like, you know, that is your values, your money, your wallet, the second house, also the garden and taste and, you know, your jaw and everything over here. But I would say maybe you are choosing a partner who, you know, because that's your wallet. Yeah, I'm not gonna say that. All right, let's move forward. No, I'm gonna say that because I already started. So it could represent something like, I'm having an affair with someone because of the person has money or pays something for me. Not a prostitution, nothing like that, but you know, like, because I have some advantage, financial advantage of that relationship. Okay, that's what I wanted to say. Okay, let's move forward. So I'm gonna move over here to Taurus. If you're a Taurus rising or Taurus sun or Taurus moon, but always go with rising first because I'm doing whole sign and tropical astrology. Here it is. Pluto retrograde, gonna move then Taurus for the 9th house, Saturn in the 10th house, and Jupiter, Neptune, Mars, and Venus going to be in your 11th house. And because you Taurus, Uranus is in sign of Taurus, we're going to, and the eclipse going to be over here in your 1st house, right? And Mercury gonna be in your 1st house for a while, end of April, but then it's gonna go to Gemini. All right, so I hope you see that over here. So North Node for you is here in the 1st house, right? I'm gonna write here. So what's gonna happen for you? Pluto in 9th house. Pluto is transformation in what matter? It could be some kind of immigration matter. For example, you're going to have some kind of refugee status, or some kind of, you're going to transfer and transform the way you are studying. Or it could be like, okay, I couldn't do my exams, like my higher exams, my masters for a long time, and right now I'm gonna revisit. Pluto is making a transformation, and I'm gonna make sure I know I'm passing my test. So also, this Pluto is going to sextile with Jupiter and Neptune. So here you got a lot of help. 11th house could be attorneys, and it could be court cases. So if you were in a, like, you know, like in a deportation or a refugee status or green card or citizenship status, somebody coming for your rescue and somebody going to help you actually to move forward and help you to achieve what you needed to achieve over here. But also it could be some kind of educational, higher educational or higher spiritual. So Pluto is power, and you can be a powerful spiritual, become a powerful spiritual leader over here with this Pluto retrograde, and actually because of its sextiling with Jupiter, who is the guru itself and very spiritual and rules the 9th house anyway. Mars, as I said, doesn't like to be in Pisces, but actually sextiling with this eclipse over here. So it could be something like, okay, something I don't like about my appearance, so I have to cut it out. Mars is cutting out, you know, that is the warrior, that is the sword. Surgeries, it could also represent, because of, you know, cutting into something. So I don't like something, so maybe I want to have an elective surgery. I would never do that during eclipse though, so be careful and mindful, because also we're going to have another eclipse in May 16th, which is very powerful, and it's in Scorpio, and it's degrading. It's degrading. So yes, so this eclipse over here, it's something with your ego. You're killing your ego. You're getting rid of somehow your ego. Something that bothered you before, it's not gonna bother you anymore. North Node and Saturn here, so something going through, and you are going through a change in your career. So in your career, there is some kind of restriction, something what you really wanted to do, and right now it's get delayed. But you say, you know what, that's all right, because I have to concentrate on myself. I have to concentrate not on my physical body, on myself, before I go over here. So that's why the career going to get a little bit delayed, but later on it will pick up. And then here, that is beautiful, because that's your social circle and that's your tribe. So you will get actually so much support from your tribe and from your friends. So Taurus are lucky with that kind of situation. And also it could be, you know, like we had Jupiter and Neptune before conjuncting for you on April 12th, which is representing like, oh, all right, I can adopt a child. Or it could have been a court case for you to fighting for your children through a divorce. And it could actually help you to benefit that kind of conjunction. Over here, I'm sorry, I talk a lot. But that's happening here. So Jupiter gonna go to your second house, right? End of April, still going to trine with Pluto. Very beneficial, but second house matters. So you rewrite your financial situation, rewrite how you want to make money. That's what it means over here. Okay, let's move forward to Gemini, my dears. Okay, and Gemini going to have the eclipse actually in your 12th house. Pluto gonna move to your 8th house, Saturn gonna move to your 9th house, and Jupiter and all the beautiful planets going to move to your 10th house of career here. Okay, so Gemini ascendant, right? Okay, so the eclipse in your 12th house, you are getting rid of an addiction, anxiety, panic attacks. You can end a period in your life when you were panicked and tired all the time. So that's time in your life is going to end finally. And also what you have over here in your career, you have a beautiful aspect on your career zone. You might going to get a promotion. You can be actually famous overnight, because Jupiter rules publishing and media also, and Neptune also art and media and filmmaking. So actually, even with the YouTube channel creating, you can be famous overnight. So that is really good for Geminis. And don't forget, on end of April, here it is, Mercury goes back to your sign. So it is like, that's your ruler. You're gonna have genius ideas. And it's, you know, first of all for Gemini rising and after Gemini sun and moon. So the way you think it's going to be again like, oh my God, I have so many ideas, I'm brainstorming all the time. So it's going to be really beneficial for you, especially with Pluto over here. But it also can indicate like, you know what? I can 8th house Pluto retrograde, I have to revisit my will. I have to make will or a trust or something with you know, my loan doesn't work anymore. I have to refinance my house. So you can do that right now with this kind of aspect, and it's going to turn out positive for you. 12th house, Uranus, well, it could be some kind of neurotic issues happening over there, especially with eclipse. So it could be like numbing, or, you know, 12th house Uranus I don't really like, because in medical astrology, I know a lot of people with that kind of situation who had seizures, or, you know, like, and I'm not saying you will have it, all right, but it could represent some kind of neurological issue in the 12th house there. And this eclipse actually is going to sextile with Mars in 10th house and 12th house. So it could be like you will have to cut out something in your career so you will get rid of something what didn't serve you in your career zone, and actually you're going to get a promotion. So you see, something is ending in your career, but because of you get something better, so a promotion here. Ninth house, Saturn, delay with immigration processes, delay with immigration processes, or delay with a long-term trip. So perhaps you wanted to travel, but it has to be on hold because you get a promotion and you have to work very hard for this promotion, and you cannot go for this trip here. Yes, and Pluto in 8th house, that could represent, like Pluto is transformation and transit. So it could represent something like, you could have someone doing the transition in your family. All right, let's talk about Cancers over here. Cancers, Uranus gonna go to your 11th house and Mercury for a while. Pluto is doing a transformation in your relationship. Saturn gonna go to your 8th house. And let's see these beautiful planets going to your 9th house. 9th house. That is like publishing. You can publish a book, what you were working for a long time. You can become a spiritual warrior. Mars over here, training with this eclipse, you can become a spiritual warrior, helping for someone, actually getting an attorney for someone who has some kind of issues or who are on deportation or some kind of things like that. But you can also do something like, all right, this person suffered in social media, because 9th house could be that, and been hacked or stolen something, and I'm going to fight for this person and giving some kind of information or authority figure who can help her to solve the issue or him to solve the issue. But on your personal level also, 9th house is long distance traveling. It is a spiritual retreat. So you might going to enjoy and join a spiritual retreat, maybe even become a spiritual leader, because Jupiter is the guru, the teacher. You're going to start to teach. You thought you never have an option or a gift to teach, or you have nothing to say, but there is always something to say. I believe in that, and there is always something and someone you can help on. So you can start to teach right now, or you can start to go to spiritual retreat, maybe Peru for ayahuasca or something like that, opening your third eyes. 8th house Saturn over here, it's still, squaring with North Node here. It is representing for you some kind of delay in an inheritance or in loan or other people's money. Somebody might promise to you a loan, or you were applying for a house or refinance something, and it's going to get delayed a little bit. And it's going to get delayed because of you have some kind of social issue that you need to solve. It could be a court case. It could be like, I'm getting a Nobel Prize. The 11th house is recognition. 11th house is nobility, not recognition. 10th house is recognition, but nobility. And, you work hard for something, and because of that situation over here, this loan can wait for a little bit, or this inheritance. I don't have time to focus in this right now. Okay, let's move forward to Pluto transiting your 7th house and going to retrograde. So that's definitely magnifying issues in your relationship. So there is a lot of things that needs to be transformed in your relationship, in your marriage, in your soulmate relationship, in your one-on-one business relationship. So it has to be reinvented, because otherwise it's not necessarily going to work. And because Pluto is there, and Pluto is a really sexual planet, perhaps something happens sexually over there, which is like you don't have your mojo anymore, you go through some kind of changes, and but look, it's going to sextile with this kind of Venus, and Venus is the love, Jupiter, like the guru. So you might going to find a sex therapist or some kind of Neptune is there also. Neptune is drugs. it's pharmaceutical drugs, and Venus was conjuncting there before. And, you know, this sextile could be like, all right, I need to use some kind of help over here, maybe herbal tea, because Neptune could be holistic, but also pharmaceutical, or maybe I need to use Viagra or whatever to reinvent sexually my relationship. And yes, 11th house Uranus could bring in for you a lot of new friends, and really, Uranus is unconventional. It's rebel. So those people are not going to be like who you would choose. Otherwise, it's going to be really surprising for your family. Like, oh my God, they are really future-oriented, very useful, like kind of crazy, exciting people. And that kind of friendship could come into your life. Here, end of April, Mercury goes to your 12th house, and in the 7th house, 12th house, it could be like maybe a vacation home in a foreign country. So I'm going to sign the contract with my other half and getting a foreign place, or it could be like some kind of medical issues. Pluto could be surgeries. 12th house is surgeries and hospitals, and it could be like I need to sign like a power of attorney for my partner, or he or she needs to sign that for me. So that kind of contract could come up for you as well. And you know, 12th house and Mercury over there, there is a lot. And actually trining with Pluto, it's spiritual, it's deeply spiritual, seeking for the life after death. Or you know, maybe even experience it, because you channeling Mercury, you can channel down in 12th house and trining with Pluto over here. Okay, let's move to my Leos over here, and I have to hold because yesterday I screwed it, and oh God, I was so angry because I did a great video, but whatever, learning curves, right? Okay, here, this is my Leo friends here. I get a Leo moon, so I'm going to have to concentrate for myself as well. Pluto, 6th house, transformation in your daily routine, service for others, your health regime, your work, right? So you're going to reinvent some, you know, like Pluto return, it could be like you're going to rehire employees. So maybe you had to let them go during COVID, and right now you are capable to rehire them. It could be also because it's retrograde, don't forget, so we are going back, reimagine, reinvent, rehire something or someone. So because it's in retrograde, you realize the diet was working for you before, and somehow you just didn't continue, and you're going to go back to that kind of diet or supplement that you used before here. Saturn is in your 7th house. It is some kind of coldness or gap in your relationship. So it could be like, it is getting right now a little bit hard because of I'm concentrating, North Node is here in your 10th house and square with Saturn. I'm concentrating on my career. So I can't be close to my wife or husband or my partner right now, because everything about, like, maybe you are a teacher and everything is about the exams right now, and I have to work, even bring my work at home, and I have no time for intimacy and even to listen my partner, and it could put a little bit of gap and distance between us. And you know, like, I don't want my relationship to suffer, but somehow it does because of my work, because of my career. However, this eclipse is a new beginning, so you will be capable to find a solution, eclipse that kind of negative energy out from there, and find a solution actually for something new, and that kind of square energy not going to exit exist anymore anyway. That is North Node, but actually Saturn squaring with, and North Node is your purpose in life. That is your future life, representing the avenue that you have to approach, what you have to achieve. All right. Mercury was in your 10th house, and with Pluto trining, trining, that means like that is a really beautiful aspect, right? So something could be work and career, that could be some kind of negotiation for a promotion. So negotiation for leaving the job, like giving some, time for them to find another person instead of you, because you get something better. And you'd get something better unexpectedly because Uranus is there as well. And because Venus rules this apex, it's coming something from love, coming something what you really like. So what you will get, the new job, could be like truly amazing, truly amazing. That is here is Mercury going to go here in the 11th house, end of April, still trining, right, with Pluto. So it could be like, all right, I actually hear something from a friend, or even on social media tribe. I'm gonna join a social media tribe because of a Cancer group, or a Hashimoto group, or anything what health related, or actually work related could be as well, and they are going to help me to achieve what I want to achieve. So that's also positive here. The 8th house, Jupiter, Neptune, and Venus over there, it could relate to an inheritance or a loan you will get, and you will get it easily. It could also pay off. Jupiter in 8th house with Venus, you can pay off karmic debts. So from loving heart, you are coming in forgiveness and loyalty, integrity. And that's what you're gonna practice. And that's when you are capable to pay off that karmic family karma in your life. So that's also really positive over here. Well, Jupiter, Neptune, 8th house, and Mars is over there. Careful on water. Definitely be careful with boats and careful on water. Okay? All right, let's move forward. And yes, let me see what else could relate. Some kind of surgery with your reproductive system. It could be also on physical level. So that is just like, like be mindful with that. Let's see where it goes. Okay, so Pluto, 5th house, Saturn, 6th house, this beautiful conjunction in your 7th, and then let me see, Uranus and Mercury, everything moves to your 9th. All right, you know what, Virgos? You can get, if you have Virgo rising, moon, or sun, you can actually have a proposal, 7th house, that is a marriage proposal over here. And Jupiter and Venus is loving, and Venus and Neptune also. Very, very unconditional love, no boundaries, really emotional, beautiful, and higher octave of love, and everything what you wanted from this partner. So it could be a wedding or proposal for you. So it's very divine energy. It also could be like your partner is supporting you no matter what. So for example, Pluto retrograde over here could representing like some kind of blockage in your creativity, some kind of, okay, I have to reinvent the way I relate to my creativity or to my children. I have to be more I have to set down roots, the way I'm parenting my children, and then my partner going to help me with that. We are on the same side right now. Revisit some kind of addiction issue with my children, and my partner is on my side in this kind of situation. And addiction, so you don't have to think of, okay, my child is a drug addict or alcoholic. It could be, of course, if your child is in that age, and there is a lot of children suffering from addiction. It could be simple as it is, guys, like telephone and internet. It's horrible. It's really horrible on that generation, on their generation. So what you have over here, Pluto in 5th, so your partner going to be on your side. Let me see, Virgos. Yes, And then Saturn in 6, that is some kind of health issues, but some kind of health issues, I would check out your bowels, so colonoscopy, or I would check out, because that's Virgo related and Saturn also relates from there. And you know, when it's a malefic planet in some kind of houses like 12, 6, and 8, definitely it could consider some kind of physical decline in your health. So that's what I would do. Or Saturn could be bones, so any kind of inflammation, arthritis, or you know, like even teeth. It could be like, okay, I need an implant and I need to check my implant right now, or some kind of gum disease over there. But yes, so we were talking about that. That's very beneficial. It's a proposal, marriage, wedding, even your business partner is going to help you, and it's a really divine energy between. And you know, if something with children have to be adjusted, you're going to get help and support. And Saturn over here, definitely watch out for physical health. It could actually give you some kind of deserved recognition, because you were very dogmatic with kind of work. So you were very organized, right? Saturn in 6th house. And because you worked, and that's your work, the daily routine and work, and you will work so hard. So right now, actually, it's going to help you give you a deserved reputation. In 9th house, you have the eclipse in your 9th house, and you have Mercury and Pluto, 9th and 5th house. So it could be like you are signing off your children to college, like they get into, or any kind of great education. It could be media, journalism, filmmaking, travel agencies, whatever, but you can sign up. Or it could be also for yourself. You did have a creative project, right? 5th was this creative project. Pluto goes retrograde over there. You reinvent that creative project. And because it's trining with Mercury, you sign a contract. You're going to get published. You found a publisher, for example. So that could be that. And before you didn't, but right now you're taking, because Pluto goes to retrograde. Eclipse in 9th house could be like, all right, I had some kind of issue maybe with immigration, and it's going to eclipse out, it's going to end. Or it could actually eclipse, you know, let me see. In 9th house, it could be like the end is not coming because you solved the issue, but it could mean deportation also as well here. But on the positive, let's concentrate like the problem going to get solved. And because of Mars over here, somebody is going to fight for you in, you know, like you're going to get a help, even maybe, let me see, 9th house. And, you know, it also could be 9th house is education. For example, you need to get vaccinated for education, or to get that job. But the problem was there, but right now it's gonna get eclipsed out, because Mars in Pisces is going to find and fight for something like, all right, you know what, I don't need to get that kind of shot, or I don't need to get vaccinated, and I can take, so the problem going to get eclipsed out. Or for example, long distance traveling. Before you needed to get vaxxed, right? And right now, because it's trining with this eclipse, actually I can go to Peru, or I can go to Bali, because I don't need right now anything to get there. I don't need to prove of vaccination. Okay, 10th house, gonna go in Gemini, Mercury, and it's still trining. So it is definitely going to be some kind of reputation coming with that contract that you're going to sign over here with the publishing. So if you have anything going on creative project, and you sign a contract in April, in May, the recognition could come with that. So the publishing company could go forward and move forward and have your books on the shelves. Okay, let's go to Libra over here. And I think that's where I screwed yesterday. So Pluto gonna be in the 4th house, Saturn 5th, and let's see Jupiter and everything else gonna go to Pisces in your 6th house. And let's see the 8th house. So the eclipse gonna happen for you, Libra, in the 8th house here. And that is a new life, a new start actually over here. So for example, loan that you applied for, it might not going to happen, or the inheritance that you were expected, it's not necessarily going to happen. But because of that, you're going to restart and reinvent that kind of area in your life. And because of it is sextiling with Mars here, so that is your daily routine, right? So you're going to revisit that situation and get all the paperwork together, because something you missed with paperwork here, and you need more proof. So Mars over here going to keep fighting. And okay, I'm going to get all the paperwork together, and then I'm going to get that loan what I deserved here, what I wanted here. Or, you know, the inheritance, they said it's not belonging from me, and I can prove the inheritance, or that something is belong from me with this kind of Mars and Pisces. 6th house, Jupiter and Neptune. Yes, it is, it could not necessarily, yeah, you know, like in work, it could be something like, okay, I'm going to have some kind of new work, or I'm going to hire employees, a lot of employees actually, or I'm going to start a new career, not career, but a new work in the field of art, or like at a church, a temple, or you know, to be a teacher. I'm gonna start to be a teacher because that's your work here. Not your career, your work, what you will do for living. And you're going to actually like it. But Jupiter in 6th house also could do something. And you know, it's with Venus. Venus is sugar. Jupiter is expanding it. So I would be careful with my sugar level if I would be liberalizing, or sun, or, you know, moon, because of it could be some kind of emotional eating and a lot of sugar, and it could create diabetes over here with that kind of conjunction. All right, also I would be careful with my ankle, and you know, to get swollen my ankle somehow as well, and it could create some kind of surgery. You need to somehow let go and drain the water from the feet, or something on medical astrology field. But otherwise, 6th house is your daily routine regime, service for others. That is a spiritual first service for others. So maybe you're going to be part of a homeless shelter and helping to feed the homelesses, or the orphans, or the refugees. So it could be very uplifting energy as well. And quite frankly, at work, if you're going to start a new work, and even if it's not your career, so you've never been a teacher before, or a spiritual leader, or whatever, you're going to enjoy it. So that's a positive aspect. Saturn in 6th house, you feel like a blockage in your muse, in your creativity. It's a delay over there. It is like, oh, it's so cold, or it's heavy on me. It's like a black stone right in front of me, a mountain. I cannot move, and I feel so sluggish, and nothing comes to me right now. But you know, it's going to actually disappear soon when North Node square, here is North Node in it, and it's going to actually move backward. So when it's not going to square anymore, that could, you know, it's still blockage over here, but it's not going to be that magnified. Pluto in 4th house, there is, you're going to, and Jupiter, Venus sextile with it, right? The conjunction, you're gonna make a regime, a new regime for your family, health matter. So it's going to be, you're going to include new supplementation for your family members, and you're going to actually feel like there it has to be some kind of transformation within my roots. You know what else could be? Like you are searching for your root. For example, you just figure out your father is not your father. Pluto goes back to retrograde, but you are getting some, or you never knew who is your parents. You were adopted, and then you find your parents, and it's gonna be very loving. It's going to be healing, loving for you, because you find out something about your root. You dig deep, and it's going to heal your karma. It's going to heal your health, because you're gonna understand your genetics, for example. However, I truly believe in Bruce Lipton biology of belief and not genetic. The way we are approaching situation because of the way our ancestors approached it, and that's why we create the same issues, illnesses, and challenging in our life over and over. So that's why family karma is present, and not because of genetics. But however, we don't have to agree on this. All right. So that is for you, Libra rising suns. And over here, it could be some unexpected event coming up with a loan or you know, and because Mercury is over here, it could be, and sextiling with Jupiter here and the end, Jupiter and Venus, it could be like that kind of inheritance or loan issues going to be solved later on. But Mercury going to go to your 9th house of higher education, still trying with Pluto, your family going to support your higher education, maybe financially. So that could be positive as well. All right, let's go to Scorpio. Scorpio's 3rd house, Pluto, Saturn in 4th house, 5th house, Jupiter. So you're definitely going to spend a lot of time with your offsprings. It's going to be very loving, very positive for you, Scorpio sun, moon rising. Your creative ideas going to be unbelievable, like photography or even have your first art show somewhere. So, or something with publishing, out in the public with something which is related, photography, filmmaking, documentary, jewelries, anything with art or love. It could be like, I'm going to introduce my children some kind of new spiritual practice as well. So for example, my children never been baptized, or I'm going to show them Buddhism, because we were Christian before, but right now it's a new spiritual practice for my children, which is loving and coming from understanding and compassion and higher octave of love. 3rd house, your communication is changing. Where you were silent before, you're gonna talk there, and where you were very talkative, you won't talk anymore. You're going to keep silence here. It also, because of that is like social media, and that is like internet, and it could be cryptocurrency, because Mercury ruled the 3rd house. It could be crypto, and Pluto is investment, so you can invest in cryptocurrency, going back to invest in something. It could be also writing, communication, motivational speaking, like it's training with that. So it's changing. You understand the way of your words, and you will practice compassion in your words, and it's gonna be healing for others and transformative for others. So your words going to be very powerful. People gonna listen and see you and hear you right now. Saturn in 4th house could be like fell out with a family member, someone who is you know, like get distance with somebody in your roots, in your family, with your family members over here. And then you do have 7th house eclipse, Scorpio. So Uranus is there. It's not very positive, because Uranus is the planet of divorce. You don't have to divorce, nothing like that, but it could initiate and start a divorce or end a divorce, because eclipse, actually the divorce already started a few years ago, and eclipse is like, okay, I'm done, I'm out with this relationship. And signing the contracts, not necessarily only prenups, but I would say like signing something. Let me see, Mercury and Pluto. Pluto is, yeah, it could be prenup. If you are getting married, it could be prenup, or it could be something coming with a divorce. Like right now I'm signing the paper and I'm getting divorced. Then yes, that is the prenup. Then Mercury actually goes to 8th house. and 8th house is others, people, money, and Pluto over here. And you know, that could be a prenup, or it could like create a will or a trust. I'm making a trust for my children because this beautiful energy is here. A will for my children. I'm going to create everything for them. All right, so here, yes, that could unfortunately create like a divorce, or actually it could create like the problem gonna go away from my marriage because we had and we faced a major problem. We didn't see eye to eye. And right now, we will finally be on the same level of understanding. So the problem is going to disappear in our marriage. Okay, Mars over here in the 5th house, it is like initiating something, fighting for my children. So it is like, you know, Pisces is a spiritual warrior with Mars over there and in the 5th house of children. So I'm going to fight for my children no matter what. All right, let me go to Sagittarius here. And Sagittarius, Pluto is in your 2nd retrograde. And then everything, the great conjunction coming in your 4th house. So that is a moving for you, Sagittarius, rising, sun and moon. Most likely, or renovating your home, because Venus is could be like redesign, getting a designer. And Jupiter is expensive, it's the riches, so it's a luxurious design that you always wanted to have, and that's what you will get over here. So it's a very lucky energy here. And let me see, Sagittarius. So that is your Sagittarius rising, so it's in your 4th house. So everything else, Uranus and the eclipse, going to be in your health. So yeah, definitely you need to, the focus is on your health right now. So something I need to change in my daily routine, in my diet. I have to eclipse out something which doesn't serve me anymore. And it could be because it's sextiling with Venus. I'm gonna go sugar-free for a long time right now. I'm not gonna eat fruit, and I'm not gonna eat actually, and you know, sugars for a while, because I know it could relate to some kind of, you know, like obesity or diabetes or situations like that. Then you have Uranus in the 6th house in your career. You know, it could be something amazing happening, and it's still actually sextiling with Mars, and it's still sextiling with this eclipse Mars as well. So it is like unexpectedly something coming up at your workforce, and you're going to get offered a job, and you will take it because it's going to be very beneficial. It could be some kind of astrology group, it's some kind of astrology, or it could be something Uranus, also science related or humanitarian project as well, and you're going to take on to that. 4th house, yeah, the house front, the family front is really, really great. But Jupiter Neptune conjuncted here in April 12th. It could be like you redesign your house because you get flooded, because Jupiter Neptune can bring in flood, and that's why Venus and Jupiter are gonna renovate your house because of the flood. It's not happening the same day. I always tell you, it could be, you know, a longer time. Jupiter Neptune is 13 years cycle. Jupiter Venus over here at least like 2 years cycle, right? So it's not happening on the day when the conjunction happening. So when I said before in my previous video, like, you know, like it could be terror attacks, like with Saturn and Mars conjuncted April 1st, or the war could escalate all over in the world. That's not happening in April 4th and 5th. It's gonna happen in the 2.5 years of cycle over there. So, all right, but peace is coming also. So don't forget, we stand together, we move together, we grow together, and there is healing in this situation. So Mercury, Sagittarius, is gonna go to your 7th house. So there is really amazing communication between you and your partner, or between you and your business partner as well. And because it's also still sextiling with Pluto, it's transformative communication. Or it could be communication about, okay, the financial situation, how Pluto, death, how I want to get buried or whatever, like let's do the will over here with my partner together and let's talk about that. I want you to be my power of attorney as well. So that kind of situation comes up as well. Saturn in third house, it's still some kind of hard work with some kind of written project or talking project. So it is going to give you a gift by the end. Saturn going to transit from Aquarius to Pisces. So there is going to be definitely a deserved reputation gifted for you, but because you work very hard here. The second house, the retrograde in the second house, that's your wallet, that's your valuables, that's the way you make money. You're going to actually revisit that situation, and you're going to understand, oh my God, the way I made money, the way I published myself, whatever, it wasn't working. So I have to approach a different avenue with that. And I will be capable to approach, because I have support over here, one-on-one relationship or with my marriage partner, and the work, because then it's an unexpected surprise is coming up for me. So that's positive for you, Sagittarius. All right, let's move to Capricorn, and Capricorn, Pluto is in your first house, Saturn is in your second, everything, the beautiful planetary aspects coming in your third, and fifth house is the eclipse and Mercury here, right? So, okay, so what do you have over here? Pluto retrograde in the first house, my ego, my power. So, I gave away my power. Pluto retrograde, you know what? I want to regain my power. Maybe my physical health, because that's your body, the first house. The way you pretend, that's your body, that's your physical body. So I want to regain my power physically, and I also want to get back and sit back to the driving position. I'm not going to let you to think for me. So that is good over here. Transformation, or, I don't like the way I look. Pluto is surgeries. Retrograde, going back, you know what, I had a surgery before, but I don't like it, so I have to redone that kind of plastic surgery because I don't like the way it looks. Saturn in second, it could be like, all right, my income, okay, there is some kind of restriction over there, but Saturn in second doesn't have to be necessarily bad. It could be something like you have to work harder, but you know what, whatever you work for, it's going to be there for a long time. So your valuables and everything is like that. But Saturn in second also, it's teeth, so careful with gum disease, teeth, implants, jaw, and something with your throat, because it could indicate actually even thyroid disease, Hashimoto or something like that. So careful with that. Jupiter and Venus conjunct in your third house and trining with actually with Mercury in Taurus, and trining also with Pluto over, sextiling with Pluto and sextiling with Mercury over there. So there is a beautiful project for you, a written project, or an internet project. You're going to create your own YouTube channel, or maybe it's a new social media platform you're going to create. And Capricorn are very good with that, really strict, and you are working hard, so you can create that, or even your cryptocurrency, your own cryptocurrency you can create with that trine with Mercury. Something that you are coming up with, brainstorming, and you're capable to create that. Okay, and Mercury is going to go to your sixth house, so that is kind of contracting some kind of workforce and in your daily routine. So, it could be like, it could be a therapist. You are going to hire someone, a therapist, who can help me because I need to listen. And when I'm listening, or I sign up for a workshop, because when I'm listening, I'm capable to implement new regime in my head routine here. Fifth house with children, there is something has to go, something or creativity or with a project, but it could be with children, like, you know, the way I'm related to my children or in my inner child, it's not serving us. I need to reinvent that. I need to revisit that. And when I'm going to get let rid of that, then something new is appearing, which is going to be more powerful and supportive. So that is a new way to relate your inner child, or a new way to relate your creativity, or a new way to relate to your children. Something unconventional, something silly, something not boring. So that could be really good over here for you. Yes, so that is the third house. That is like I told you, like it could be something with crypto, it could be like something, a spiritual book, an astrological book published and also written. There could be like some kind of licensing to get, or not long term and not higher education, but some kind of degree to get for you, and you could be advocate, spiritual advocate for children, because it's Mars is sextiling with this eclipse, so spiritual advocate for children over here. Okay, so Saturn is delay in your income, it could be, and also some kind of physical issue with thyroid or teeth. Joint and Pluto, let's see. Pluto in the first house and sixth house of health, still training, so you can actually talk to a doctor, nurse, your doctor, how to redone the surgery they did before because you don't like it. It could be that kind of negotiation, and it will be positive this time. Okay, let's go Capricorn. It was, so let's go to Aquarius. Aquarius, Pluto gonna be in your 12th house, Saturn in the first, and let's see everything. Fourth house, you're going to have the eclipse here. So Pluto in 12th house, it's like going back in retrograde. You might going to have some kind of amazing prophetic dreams coming back to you, or you might going to remember your dreams again, because for a while you didn't remember. It could be also like you can connect with the loved ones who passed away through your dreams. It could be also like you're going to actually start to study something. Your intuition going to be super high and extremely, extremely great here. Or you're going to revisit some, you might going to start to study and research, 12th house is research, and research something from afterlife and death here. So that's what it means. And Saturn in 11th house, no, in first house, it could be some kind of inflammation in your body, joint inflammation, backache, sciatica. It is also like the ego is, you're gonna be a little bit colder to people. It is like, I don't want to be that friendly right now anymore, and I'm gonna be reserved. So Saturn in first house could be like, I'm reserved, and I'm going to be reserved because North Node in the fourth house, in my family front, something is happening and it's squaring with Saturn. So I'm not gonna have time for people around me because I have to deal with my family situation over here. So that could be something like a house situation is eclipsing for you. So for example, you wanted to sell your house, but because this North Node here, it could, it squares with Saturn, it is a delay in selling your house or eclipsing out something. So it is like a living situation going to be eclipsed. So you were promised something, and it's not coming through on the living in the real estate situation here for you. Then you're going to have Jupiter, Venus in your second house. Ooh la la, that is running, that is income is rising, that is beautiful for you here. And Mars is like I'm going to be assertive for it. I'm going to fight for it. And you know what? I'm going to get what I deserve. I'm going to get paid for what I deserve. But also it is your investment and your wallet, not investment, but your wallet. So your income is going to raise, and you can get actually a bonus paid out, big bonus paid out, what you're going to love. Also, second house is values as well, so your taste. So you might going to urge to have more sweets. You are craving for sweets, and it could be also like your values is going to change, and it's going to become more spiritual and not necessarily very financial. Jupiter is very spiritual. The Venus is material and Mars is material, but Jupiter and Neptune is really spiritual. So your value is going to become different. Or the way you are going to make money, it's because of filmmaking or photography or acting or some kind of spiritual practice. That's how you can make money as well. So over here in the fourth house, it is like, fourth house is ending and funerals as well. So an eclipse over here, it's a new beginning. So it's a new start in a new home, right? But it could eclipse a family member out. It could, like, okay, I have to deal with funeral somehow in my life. Mercury over here, so it is 12th house, Pluto there, it's some kind of hospital or hospice, because Pluto is there, 12th house is hospital, so it could be hospice. Mercury here, it's trining with it, so it's a family member hospice, so I need to sign up somebody for hospice. It could be the negative manifestation of that. But you know, not everybody has the same issue, so it's not valid for everyone. I'm just translating how can it actually work out. And when it's gonna go in your fifth house, it will be something transformative with your children. It could be something like, you know what, it could be like a psychologist. I'm gonna hire a psychologist for my children, or a spiritual teacher for my children. We're gonna practice religion for my children. No, spiritual practice for my children. That's what it is. Okay, and let's go to Pisces, the last sign. Okay, over here, my dear Pisces, Pluto is in your 11th house, Saturn in your 12th. Jupiter, Venus, and everything, the beautiful aspects going to your first house of ego, self-esteem. So your self-esteem going to feel boosted, and you will feel beautiful, and you will feel very social. You want to go out, you want to have some kind of Botox or fillers or whatever is it. You're going to change something over here. And you know, Mercury, look at Mercury trining with this beautiful, it's something unconventional writing for you, something maybe astrology book writing here, right? And then Mercury gonna go to your fourth house, so you're going to become advocate for your family, and Pluto in your 11th house, so you might even going to have an at-home business which is related to communication, so a YouTube channel or something online, and your friends going to promote you, their friends going to help you to promote you. Saturn in the 12th house, not necessarily very good over there. It could be some kind of anxiety, fear, panic attacks, fear of death, you know, like it's fear-based, it's phobias. 12th house over there, restrictions, so I can't sleep. I'm not able to sleep. I'm so sluggish, I have no energy somehow to move forward. And then Jupiter in the first house is giving you all the goodies, all the beautiful things with your self-esteem. And Mars, yes, it could be injection. I'm gonna start B12 vitamins, for example, to have more energy, right? Because I'm sluggish. Yes, so something like that. Or I'm gonna have a surgery to look beautiful somehow because I want to lose weight and I couldn't lose weight, especially Jupiter in the first house for Pisces. Forget about losing weight, right? But when Saturn gonna move for you here, you are on the right track. And in the third house, Uranus over there, as I said, it could mean like some kind of writing as astrology book, because Mercury was there, and actually it was conjuncting middle of April here. So some kind of group project could move forward, and helping and promoting by others, by social media groups over there. it could be fourth house is a new family member signing a contract for a new family member, which is transforming your life. So it could be like a court case, and then adoption finally get finalized over here. Or it could be Pluto, because it was an inheritance. The inheritance had to go to court, and it's because of a family member. Finally, it's going to get finalized as well. Your words going to be very different, really. Yeah, different. And you know what? That is your neighborhood, and it could rapidly change. So that is also you changing neighborhood. The eclipse could represent a moving, changing neighborhood. It could also like some kind of with your siblings, could be something like you are actually going to stop talking to your sibling because of some kind of difficulties coming up for you here. All right. So I think that's what I wanted to tell you guys about this eclipse, and I hope I could shine some light for you all, and I hope you enjoyed this journey with me. If you have any questions, please comment below. Please like and subscribe to my channel. And if I can help you, just look up my website, again, www.urbanwitch.org, and I would be happy to help you. Thank you so much. Till we meet again.